We've got a treat for you guys this week.
What's going on, everyone? Yes.
What is this?
That's what happens, mate, when you put me in charge. Everyone should be dancing in their living rooms right now.
No, they shouldn't. No, they shouldn't.
Oh, is this a crazy remix? I don't even know.
Never, if you ever host a party and this man's coming, never let him have control of the play button.
Oh, look, listen to the beat, mate.
Sorry. How long have we got to put up with this for?
Do you reckon this is a pun? Slavomir beating me to it after I just said, listen to the beat.
I see what you said there. I see what you did.
There's another minute and a half. Well, you put me in charge, mate. This is what happens. It's the Demi remix, exactly.
Never again.
That's it, Frosty.
Never again.
Who loves this remix? I bet everyone's dancing around.
Not like that.
It's only because it's 5 a.m, mate. Well, to be fair, I better before my kids wake up. Frosty says it best there. I will, since it's early, mate. I'll just put the comments out.
Wait for it.
So wait. It's going to drop.
Ibiza.
See? Hold on. I'm just going to mix it in, guys. 1 second. Did you see how I blended it in there together?
It's growing on me.
Frosty I think it was quite a good one, actually. You should watch the replay.
So we've had a few people trying to win our competition. If you're new to the show, every week we just for a bit of fun, because we're all quite competitive here. We like to see who is the first person to make a comment. So Sab, at least he knows. He's like, I never win, but I've never even seen you in the top 10, mate. So that's a good effort. That is a very good effort. Lauren's in the house. Hey guys, how are we? Well, my ears are a lot better now that racket is stopped. I've got to be honest.
That's not what the people are saying, though.
That's what my ears are saying. I've got to be true to my ears. If you are new, like this person, or you haven't used StreamYard before, we need you to click on the link so that we can see your face. So like Frosty, we can see a face and we can see your name, and then we feel like we're talking to someone, you're part of our tribe, and it's just a lot easier. Slavomir was second. Standards dropping, mate. Standards dropping because we have a new sheriff in town. What do you call a female sheriff? Here's a trivia question for you. Sheriff? Bonjour, sheriff. What do you call a female sheriff?
Is that a real question?
It's a real question. It's not like trick question. Is there a word for a female sheriff? Because if there is, Joanna is it. Hi, boom, straight in.
Yeah.
Our winner this week of the first comment. Like it. Like your style.
Well, seriously, if Gavin sounds a bit tired, that's probably because what time is it there, mate?
Well, this is for most of our members, 5 a.m. is the time that magic happens.
True. That is true.
Just not quite for me.
No.
But yeah, so apologies if I sound tired. It's because I look tired. Because I am. I'm just going to go back to where you found me at a bus shelter. Shall I just sit like this?
To be fair, mate, your tired look last week was much better.
Yeah, but it was also cold.
No, but let's do a little trivia. Who remembers what Gavin was wearing The last time he looked extremely tired. Let's see who remembers. Who's paying attention? Who's got that eye for detail?
One of the members, their nan's got it back, basically. I posted
Well, you're
it back.
giving them a tip now.
It could be a walking stick. Could be a packet of digestives.
Start guessing. Let's build the comments in the group.
I'm gonna make a request and say, can someone does someone know what a female sheriff is called? Joanna, the female sheriff. Look.
Huh?
And we're not related, and I don't pay Joanna any money, but she always leaves me a nice comment. Thank you, Joanna. In your face. In your face.
Well, if people want to lie to your face, it's there. They're just being kind.
There has been Fred Martin in the house. Good to have you with us, my friend. Kaiser Soze. Never seen a photo of that guy, but he is real.
Maybe he's famous and doesn't want to know him.
Yeah, is that a Sweden?
I'd like to think it's Al Pacino.
Wait. Let's go on a random tangent here. If you could coach any famous person, who would you love to coach?
Oh my word!
Bearing in mind your missus might watch the replay, so keep it clean.
That's a real difficult one.
Whilst you're thinking of that, I'll just go. So Slavomir's gone into some real detail here. Last week there was Rising Sun in the back. However, the internet here, for some reason, even with 5G, it still cuts out at the moment. They're doing some work on the towers or something. So I have to sit here where there's no view, apart from of the aircon thing. But last week it was really cold. So that is why I had to use Michael's nan's scarf. She was very lovely about it. I said, look, I need some props. Can you send me something? And she sent it all the way from Wales, I believe, where she resides. So beautiful job. Beautiful job. So with that being said, I filled in enough time.
I've got it.
You sure?
Oh, does it have to be an actor?
No, famous person.
Steven Gerrard.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because footballers are good at psychology. He'd be an awesome trader.
They are good at psychology, but do you think he's going to be good at trading?
That's since that's 90% of it. Yeah, with me teaching him, no problem.
Slavomir has got a photographic memory. Yes, Mr. 5G cut out, and then you had to move to a different position with the table tennis table in the back. Wow.
Wow, that is eye for detail. Yeah,
and I love seeing new people make comments. If you're new and you've never made a comment before, maybe you're not new to the group, Gavin. But first of all, you've got a great name, and secondly, great photo. That is a lovely photo. I love seeing new photos.
Very nice photo. So Fred Martin is going to be Al Pacino until we know otherwise.
Yeah.
So can we use that in our marketing? That Al Pacino joins our Pitch Black operation.
I don't know. Why not? Because we don't know that you're not. Fred, we don't know that you're not. Let's just put it that. It might even be Stevie G. It might even be Stevie G playing with, just messing with your head.
If you were Al Pacino, you wouldn't really come in as your real name, probably.
Imagine if you did, though. Like you're in some sort of random group.
Yeah, you'd think, he's just, what an idiot. Why is this guy taking his name? You would never think it was actually him.
I was going to try and do an Al Pacino impression, but I have no idea what. Apart from the classic line from Scarface. Yeah. What else? How else would you identify?
Huh? You cockroach. Well, that's about it, mate. You cockroach.
Is that your granddad from Greece? What are we doing now?
Well, I haven't seen it for a long time. I'm quite good at impressions, but it's a long time since I watched that film.
If you get your granddad to send in one of his scarves, then I'll wear it next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, just a bit of housekeeping. Oh, we need to change that. Hopefully no one's noticed, or Slavomir's the eye for detail. He will have. See if you can notice something that we haven't changed. There's something on the screen that needs to be changed. That's all I'm going to say. Andy, you can't work it out, and that's going to annoy you. I know that. So I love it, yes. So if you're new to the show, sign into StreamYard, please, so that we can see your face.
Ooh, I've got it.
You got it? Don't tell everyone. I'll just slip it in. So that we can see your face, see your name, and then of course you can also tune in live on Facebook. We've got 23 viewers right now and 3 thumbs up. I don't like that ratio. 23 of our tribe and only 3 thumbs. That's all I'm saying on that. That's all I'm saying. You can also tune in live.
For love, but if you want to give it to us, we'll take it.
We all need it. Come on, let's not beat around the bush here. We all want it and we all need it. That's all we're saying. We don't take money. That's all we're saying. We take a thumb.
Absolutely. That's how Facebook works, guys.
That's how my life works. I'm happy with a thumb.
Yeah.
You look like the guy from the In-Betweeners. What, mate? My dad's Al Pacino. My dad's Al Pacino. Trader friend. Hey, trader friend. Wow.
God. Yeah.
Delirious.
I know.
Delirious.
But you know what? Luckily, you reminded us that it's not a crypto show, because I was about to start talking cryptos with that up there.
Wow. Really?
I know. That's
Obsessed.
What happened.
On the brain.
Definitely obsessed. Absolutely. But nice to see them recovering today. Anyway, we won't talk about it.
Look at that.
C-word is banned on Thursdays.
Oh, still there. All right, if you can just fill in for time whilst I kind of try and look professional and do the thing with the thing, that would be great.
Yeah. What's yes, perfect. Right, what are we talking about today?
Seamless. Okay, so we've covered Stevie G, Al Pacino, the In-Betweeners. I'm pretty much done for content, mate, to be honest. Can I go back to bed?
No.
Okay, so fair's fair, deal's a deal. So what we're going to talk about is, we started talking about it last week. There's a myth going around, and Joanna, as you're the sheriff. Oh, by the way, still no suggestions. I think I saw one for female sheriff. What is the name of a female sheriff? Sheriff. I like what you said there, mate.
Like that.
I bet it's not 5 a.m. where you are, Neil. He's
on it.
He is on it.
Yeah.
But there's a vicious rumor going around in the tribe.
No, that's not true.
Is it?
No, FX is my wife, and crypto is just my side piece. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's not maybe things I should be saying. But no, I on a serious note, FX will always be available, and it's just a case of focus. And I think, at the moment, truth be said, for the last sort of month or 6 weeks, I've put a lot of focus into the cryptos to get it to the standard that I want. But even today, like sort of breaking down cable in the Q&A was great to sort of go back to FX, and it's just kind of like kids play compared to crypto. But it's, cryptos are fun. You can make a lot of money quickly, but FX, you'd always rely upon it. Like that's where you make, you build wealth, and you're always going to be able to do it. So no doubt, there's no way that I wouldn't ever be trading FX.
Cool. Okay. So with that being said, let's go into the first topic of the week, which is, so last week we touched upon that'll be expensive. That will be expensive. That's all I'm saying.
That's why we're not supposed to be speaking about the C word in front of FX.
So you touched on last week where we started talking about, and I thought it'd be an interesting topic to give some time for you to go deep into the recesses of your brain and pull out some stories or just some comparisons of some of the most ridiculous things you've heard about the biggest myths, either about traders or about being a hedge fund trader, being on a trading floor. Like I remember when you told us about, you had to make friends with some of the traders and then you started just networking and then you finally got invited on the trading floor. Tell us that first day that you went in to trade on the trading floor for one of the majors. What was it like? Just even that, just going in and trading, because most of us will never experience that. And then maybe tell us what some of the things you thought of and some of the things that are the biggest myths. And we'll just kind of unpack that and see where we go, because it's a little bit of a rabbit hole, but anything can happen when we go back into the recesses of Mr. Demi's brain.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think anything that's kind of like, it felt big and it felt nerve-wracking. But to be fair, like, when you work for these sort of companies, they don't just throw you in the deep. Well, they throw you in the deep end, but they, I had, very experienced people around me, so they could sort of help me get more comfortable. So, I mean, there's kind of two places, like when I first started as a junior, and then later on when I went as a senior in the hedge fund world, two different experiences. But one was kind of nerve-wracking in the sense, like, do I belong here? Like, this is like very daunting. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to press the wrong button. I mean, all that kind of stuff. And just trying to get through the day, like, not enjoyable, because you're just nervous about just making sure you do the right thing, because you don't know if you actually know enough. And then, the more you kind of surround yourself with these people and the more you see them and the more you observe them, you get to see that actually they're just crazy, but normal people. Like, crazy, you have to be kind of crazy to be a trader in the city. Like, some of them were, the sort of typical work hard, play hard, they'd get absolutely smashed on Thursday and Friday, or and throughout the whole week they're making tons of money for the company. And it was just interesting to experience it. And then obviously I went out with those people as well, so I got to know them a bit more. But yeah, they were just focused on money, very, 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 very money driven. So I guess it probably a little bit like, if you want to think of Wolf of Wall Street, it's a bit different, but that hunger to make money was there, big time. That's it. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that has got to be one of the best scenes of a movie, right? Just on another tangent.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah. But, like, it's infectious, mate. And that's it. And if you watch that film, that all those people that kind of, I guess became followers of Jordan Belfort was because of his hunger and passion to make money. And it's just infectious. If you're that type, and obviously I was that type in the sense that I was hungry to learn and hungry to make money, but I've never had the opportunity to be around that before, which is why I understand 100% your environment. Obviously since then I've studied a lot and I've learned and developed, but environment is everything. If you're surrounded by lions, you become a lion. It's that simple. If you're surrounded by sheep, you become a sheep. And that's the honest truth. So what's so funny, Mr. Gaven? Are you the sheep? No, but do you know what? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And it's hard. I know it's not the same, obviously, when we're virtual, but you must be able to feel, well, especially those that have been mentored by me. Like, I'm not going to be your best friend if you ask me to mentor you. like, because you're not going to get the results. And so, like, sometimes you need to hear the hard truth, and sometimes people can't accept the hard truth. And then you know that they're not ready to grow. So when I pay mentors, and I have a lot in the past, spent a tremendous amount of money or invested in a tremendous amount of money. And I always tell them, sometimes some of them were like, is it all right to say that? And I say, just tell me everything. I'm literally like a rock. Whatever you tell me, I want it. I want to hear all the negative you've got to say about me, because that's gonna get me fierce and angry, and I'm gonna grow from it. If you tell me you're doing great, well done, Andy, that's not gonna serve me. So I ask my coaches to make sure they're harsh with me and just tell me what I need to improve. And I guess you've got to be made of that stuff as well if you want to become a lion trader, like the best you can possibly be, and make a tremendous amount of wealth from trading. You have to have that kind of just, toughness. And that's what I developed that started there for sure, in the institutions when I was surrounded by it, because these guys were making so much money, and they wanted more, and it wasn't ever enough. It was just a competition between each of these guys who was going to make the most, and that's what it was. And they tease each other as well.
So there's so that's not a myth then. They are making a big ton of money. Did they ever like have a leaderboard of, all right, this guy's made X amount, Bob's made X amount? Did you ever kind of have like an internal leaderboard and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, not like on the wall or something, but they'd sort of they'd know everyone would know their performance, like, or you'd get one of the big guys going around and saying, hey, what are you doing? And the language I won't be sharing here, but but yeah, it was just kind of like lads. The banter was there, and if somebody was having a bad week, it wasn't like, oh, well, unlucky, mate. No, it was none of that. They'd be absolutely getting annihilated for it. But then it makes you not want that experience next week.
So what would be to be classed as one of the big guys? What sort of levels financially are we talking about?
Well, I mean, the way it worked there, they'd get an allocation. So I can't remember off the top of my head what the allocation was, but so each person would like have, let's say, whatever amount to manage. So one might have 10 million or 20 million or 5 million for the day, and that would be their portfolio. And then depending on how they're performing, like the manager of the floor would allocate different amounts to each trader. So if somebody was killing it, they'd get more money. So it's kind of how it works in most firms. In hedge funds, every day there's an allocation. Well, that's what we were doing as well. So we would allocate based on performance. So somebody was having a bit of a stinker of a month, we'd reduce their position size and we'd give it to somebody who was killing it. So that's almost like portfolio management, but portfolio management on which trader should we give the money to. So it wasn't like, which is quite tough in a way, because if you are having a bit of a bad month, you want the opportunity to make it back. But in my experience, generally speaking, you're in that kind of negative space, and when you're trying to make it back, you're still in a negative space, like in your mind. So you're probably not going to make it back, and you're putting too much pressure on yourself. So we almost took that pressure away from them, thinking, listen, just don't worry about the money right now. The team will make it back up, but just concentrate on getting some wins. And so we kind of like get that. We'd almost build that confidence back up in somebody.
So how would you do that? Is there is there a way that you would do that? Was there any kind of thing?
Take their money away. Just literally just say, like, if you're managing $1 million, just take it down to 100 grand. So like you can't do that much damage with that anymore. So, and in a way, it's kind of like it's what retail traders should be doing, but they're doing it themselves. So it's like the natural thing is, right, guys, like if you lose money, what do you want to do? You immediately make it back. You're not going to say, oh, do you know what? I'm going to reduce my positions. And obviously you don't have a team as well, because like it's a different dynamic. So what a retail trader should be doing is taking a break, not necessarily reducing size, but taking a break, reassessing, so that when they go back in, they're kind of back centered again. So if you're not centered and you're not trading in a neutral space and you're just thinking about the money you're going to make back, you're not ready to get back to trading the size that you were trading before. So you have to take some more time out or do something about it. So like it's happened to me when I've had a bit of a drawdown. I will generally not trade maybe sometimes for a week. And if it's a bit of a hit that I've made a mistake and it's really annoyed me, and I'm, at my sort of emotional high, generally speaking, I'll take maybe a week off, and when I'm back, I've forgotten about it, like it's gone now. So as long as it takes, and I'll focus on something else. And then when you are back, you just start fresh, and none of that's even happened anymore. So then you can make that money back easily, because now you're just coming from a centered space. And so working in an institution, in a way, it's easier because it's harder in the sense that you've got pressure, but it's easier in the sense that somebody else is managing that for you. Somebody else is managing your psychology and managing your risk, which makes it, in a way, a little bit easier. It's out of your control. So if someone says, hey, you haven't made your money back, or you haven't made your P&L, they can't say that to you anymore, because that P&L, that money was taken away from you. So now you're not responsible. So you don't feel that pressure anymore of making that money back. Do you see what I mean? So it's like one of the biggest things that I remember was like ending the month on a positive. So if you had a bad 2 weeks and you're down, it's really hard then, because you're like, nobody wants to have a losing month. So if you're 5% down, you can't feel that. You cannot let yourself feel that pressure. Like, you have to just focus step by step. It's like in football, when you're in bad form, you can't be thinking, oh man, we need to win the next 10 games so we can catch up. You just win the next one and the next one and the next one by one. And that's how the next trade has to be a winner. And you just aim to find the best possible trade. And then the second one, the next trade has to you do the best you can to find the next winning trade. And then slowly but surely, you get back on track. And this is a big part. I mean, this is trading. This is what it is. The reality of it.
Cool. So, Adrian, great photo, by the way. Thanks for stopping by. So he said that's what was happening to him. He needed to have a break and do other things and then come back to it. So it's good that you were able to have that self-awareness. If anybody's got any questions about things that you thought about, maybe in the trading world or in the institution world, just let us know in the comment section, and then maybe we can dispel some of those myths. Excuse me. So is there any big myths that you just want to kind of squash right now? Because you kind of went into the background of things, but is there any other, just while we're closing off this topic? By the way, this stuff's amazing. I don't know if you can see in the light, but
what is it?
Raw sea coconut water. It's the closest one that I've tasted to actually being from a coconut.
I don't think we'll get that in London, mate.
I don't know. Try and look out for it if you can. Raw sea. It's awesome.
Well, you have Coca-Cola over here. Quite
but at least you'll be able to go outside and buy it soon, right?
I don't know, mate. Boris might change his mind.
What a palaver, Boris. Boris.
Just get coconuts, mate. It makes it easier.
That's true. Do you know how to cut a coconut?
Yeah, I've got a coconut tree, mate.
Yeah, of course you have.
Oh God!
Once upon a time, I would have fallen for that. So, first question coming in, Sab, if I was younger, have I got what it takes to be a pro trader? Do you need a hug, Sab? Do you want a hug? Are you going to answer the question?
No, I was waiting to see if he wants a hug. I thought, you asked him a second question.
We'll take that as a yes. So, I mean, let's break that down, and not just on Sab, but just for anyone. Let's reverse engineer that question. What do you need? What does it take if you're younger, or even if you want to reinvent yourself and you want to start from now? Like, what would you be looking for? And I think we've covered that in other posts, but it'd be interesting. And then let's tag on to that. What's the best way to get into working for big firms like that?
Do you know what? Honestly, become a good trader. I know it sounds like a silly answer, but if you can make money, then firms will want to hire you. If you can handle pressure, firms will want to hire you. So it's about being able to prove that, firstly, that you have an edge, you understand the markets, and then the second thing is to be able to handle pressure, I guess, to be able to handle a lot of money. So the bigger the account that you've managed, the better. And obviously getting funding is a good place to start. It used to be, your CV and all the other things. And you can, I mean, if you're young and you go through a graduate scheme, you can get in that way. But more and more firms are hiring based on ability, just raw talent, people that, and the biggest thing is just self-confidence, just showing them that you can do it. And you can see in somebody's eyes, like in an interview especially, and resilience and determination. Like, don't take no for an answer. Give me a trial. Give me a test run. Let me show you what I can do. This is what I've done for myself. Just that relentless attitude, because you're proving that you can accept rejection, which is what the market will give you. The market will reject you. You will lose. All the things that the market will do. It will punch you in the face. And can you handle it? Or are you somebody that hides? And really, when you approach a firm, that's the mindset you need to have, and then you'll know exactly what it is that you need to do to get that position. So if you're the right person, you'll get the job. It's that simple. It really is. It really is that simple.
Just in case anybody thinks they're seeing a ghost in the background, my missus is getting ready for Pilates or yoga class or something. So it's like there's a yeah. I had a feeling someone was going to say that. Gavin, you have a ghost that keeps walking behind you. Literally, as I was saying that, Brucey puts the comment in, "Beat it, Turk, mate." So yeah, that's my little ghost. So, but no, it's very true. Very true. Saying, hopefully that answers your question. So yeah. So then now that leads us on nicely to what's some of the advantages for working for an institution, trading for an institution, and what's some of the disadvantages? Because maybe there's some of the myths there that everybody thinks it's easier if you've got all this money, it's easier to move the market and kind of, you kind of just got more of an advantage. But just describe for us for like a few minutes the key differences and maybe some of the misbeliefs of disadvantages of trading on a hedge fund floor or on a trading floor. And then what are some of the benefits of actually why you prefer to be a retail trader these days?
So the advantages of working in an institutional environment is, one, environment. That's a big one. You're generally in a fancy building. You've got the best tools. You've got the best information. there's no expense paired, like, whatever you need, whatever software you need, terminal, and then you're surrounded by hungry winners that are going to have your back, and we're all in it as a team, there to make money. And so that kind of environment creates this sort of spirit of it's us against them, it's us against the market, and you're all in it to make money, because everybody's going to benefit from it. Company's going to make more money, you're going to get better bonuses. So it's kind of like just a team working together, and it's a great environment. And the other advantage is when you are down, you've got in a way that you can see it as a disadvantage. When you're down, other people will know about it, but I think that's an advantage, because then you've got people there that can help you. If you're kind of, and I'm talking more about the sort of the hedge fund world, where you're all kind of working together, ultimately you're not on your own, and you don't have to suffer on your own. And you had a bad time, like you've got your teammates to kind of bring you up, and generally if they've done well, then the company makes money still. And yes, you don't feel good because you haven't contributed, but it's just it just feels better being with people and kind of speaking out as well, having somebody to chat to. That sometimes when people are on their own and they lose money, they just have to deal with it themselves. Like now, for example, if I've had a bit of a bad time, or I'm not feeling good or whatever, I generally, yes, you've got a coach. If you've got a coach, you can call your coach, but generally speaking, you're going to go and deal with that on your own, whether it's going for a run or whatever. So that's kind of like the negatives of being a retail trader. But then the positives of being a retail trader is time. We can make the same returns as the institutions, but don't have to commit the time that they need to commit. So if you're working for institutions, you're pretty much working a full-time gig. When you're working for your own, sort of for yourself, you can easily trade. Sometimes I'm doing 30 to 60 minutes a day. Sometimes I will actively day trade, but that's my choice, and you have freedom and you have choice. And yeah, the biggest thing is freedom. Like you can just trade when you need to. You can run positions overnight. You can trade the way you want. No one's limiting the way your style. No one's saying you have to close. At the end of the day, you just choose what you want to trade, and whatever fits you. It's your money. And you can also get investment without kind of any strings attached. Like take an assessment, pass, and get funded. And that allows you to make a nice regular income and have the lifestyle to go with it, where you can be anywhere around the world, making good money and having that freedom with it. So I'd say for lifestyle, definitely being a retail trader is a big advantage. But I'm not going to lie and say that I didn't love working in the institutional world, which I did. It was great. Great. It suited my personality.
And this is one of the questions that's come in. We're in tune with everyone today. It's good. Do you miss it? And what or why do you miss it? I think you kind of just touched on that. But.
Yeah, because of my person, because of the sort of person that I am, I do miss that kind of that competition. You want to be the top dog in the office. You want to be the best performer. And I love that competition. So it used to drive me to do better, to do more, to push harder. I still am that person now, but you're just not in that environment. So you just do it for yourself, to keep delivering at the highest level that you possibly can. But yeah, that's the biggest part. I miss the sort of, just yeah, my mates and basically because we were all friends and the social part of it as well, like just feeling that sort of reward at the end of the week where we all go out and we go to the sort of top places in London, eat the best food, no expense spared, you know, all that sort of stuff is nice. At the end of the week, you've worked really hard. And I guess that's one of the hardest things now. It's like, especially with lockdown and all these other things going on here, you don't even get to reward yourself, even just go out with your friends, like not your trader friends, but just to go out with your friends or something and do something. But obviously this is a unique time. But yeah, when you were in that environment, you'd always have that kind of outlet every week, and it was great. And the working in Mayfair was awesome. I mean, we were on a great trading floor, you know, training together, going to the gym, pushing each other. Like, and that's the thing, we'd eat super well throughout the whole week, and then you just go out on Friday night. It was so much fun.
And what, just to confirm, what were the hours that you were doing? Like, if people want to go into that world, what are the hours that?
Normally, typically, I would do like 6 to 6 would be my hours. So I'd leave my house at 5, and be looking, you know, I'd get into the city and go grab a coffee, grab something to eat, and then be sitting on my desk by about 6. And then I'd start going through the markets, look for some trades, see what the guys are looking at, and then trade the morning, go to the gym about 10, 11. We had I forgot the name of it now, but anyway, it was a quite a famous gym. And then we'd sort of have, grab some lunch and then hit the markets again in the afternoon. And then just kind of manage your positions until sort of like the end of the day. And then sort of 4, 5 o'clock, normally you'll be looking to flatten everything, write your reports, report your P&L for the day, check what the team's done, and then kind of call it a day. So that was kind of the general day every day.
Would you get frustrated having to close out a position and flatten your position? Like if you're in a good trade and you couldn't hold it for a longer period into the evening, and then you'd look and go, it went up. Or do you know what I mean? Was that frustrating for you guys?
You had to just be flat by the end of the day. No, there was a little bit of flexibility, like whereby I could close it at home. So if it didn't quite, if I wanted to, I'd have to be flat. So, but I could run it and just make sure it was done by 8 o'clock. So we'd have the risk manager just check that everything's flat. And if you didn't flatten yourself and you left it open, you'd get in big trouble because it means you're not managing your risk.
Fair enough. And then just to tie this section off, Adrian's saying, do you earn yearly wages and extras, or is it daily payment depending upon how much you make with the allotted amount?
No, you just get a base and then bonus every month. So performance bonus, that is. So it'd be like, and then a yearly bonus where if the company's performed well, so if we've made an overall profit, so it was in our interest that everybody did well. So obviously you'd get annoyed if somebody was messing up. But all of that was sort of taken care of. People didn't last if they were messing up. And anyway, like it was all kind of managed, as I said before, you know, you just reduce their positions. So you give them less risk every day. And if they keep messing up, then they get to 0 and then they're off. So it's a harsh world. But, you know, the reality is that, you know, if you're not making money, then what are you doing there? And it's just black and white. There's nothing else around it.
Especially for 12 hours a day, every day of the week.
Yeah.
Or every day of the week, Monday to Friday. That's
you know what? I could have done more. It's not, for me, it's not even work. I mean, you see me now, like I can get up in the morning, I can get up at 2 o'clock, because it's just a pure and absolute passion for what you do. So when it's like that, it's not work. Like, I mean, I'm so far removed from the general sort of attitude towards jobs, like 9 to 5s or whatever. Like a friend of mine that I hadn't spoken to for quite a long time, he was just sort of, and he's a VP in JP Morgan. So like he's kind of had a career in the city, but just kind of like normal job. Like, and he was going to me, I don't know how the discussion came up, but like he goes to me, oh, what hours are you doing? I said to him, I don't even count the hours, mate. Like sometimes I'm doing 12, 13 hours a day. I'm working Saturdays. And he's like, oh my God, you, like, poor you. As in, he didn't use those words, but I'm not going to swear here. Like, but anyway, like, and like, I'm like, I love what I do. It's not work for me. So this is not, I mean, this is what it's just like, this is what I do. I love it. So, and probably those guys that are really into trading now will probably resonate with what I'm saying. If you love what you do, you're never working.
Awesome. So look, with that being said, let's kind of roll into a trade setup of the week. And let's just keep it open. So like the first pair that you think of, let's just go into. No one's put a comment in, so we'll just pick it until people start putting comments in. It surprises me. Yeah,
I can do it. Do you want to give anyone a chance to comment now?
We have.
Huh? Well, I've got no preference. I broke down cable early in the Q&A, but
let's do something different. Let's just do a random one, unless someone wants to.
Joanna's asking for cable, but I mean, I broke it down earlier for it within our sort of student Q&A. So that's the only thing. So ideally, if we do a different one to cable.
So we've got Swiss yen, sterling yen.
All right, so between Swiss yen and sterling yen, or euro dollar, Aussie dollar. Somebody choose Swiss yen or sterling yen, or double up on one of them.
As soon as we get some multiples, everybody's saying
exactly. So we got euro sterling, Aussie dollar, euro dollar, sterling yen, Swiss yen. Somebody double up. No, Neil, you can't say your one twice. There we go, sterling yen. Right, sterling yen it is. Okay.
We have if you can't. There's a lot of things you say we don't do.
Hold on. We did sterling yen already, like 2 weeks ago. We literally did it, and Brucey was saying he's already in it, and he's still running it with that trade. So we want to do something.
Okay, so let's do Swiss yen then.
Yeah, let's do Swiss yen then. Because we did this, guys, didn't we? Brucey, you took this one a couple of weeks ago, you said. So I'm not going to offer you anything new. Yeah, let's do something different. Let's do the Swiss yen then. Okay, so let me just bring it up over here. You can entertain them, mate. You do some juggling or something whilst I load it up. Can you do juggling, or what sort of skill sets do you have?
You know, mate, this is where this is going to get very boring for people now. Whilst if you're asking me to have a talent to entertain,
yeah, I think you.
But yeah, what I will say is that if you are brand new, we've recorded a webinar. It's quite long, but it's very in depth, understanding all the things that you need to take from the hedge fund world and put it into a retail trader if you're serious about it. We've been getting rave reviews about the content. There is an option at the end if you want to go through the FX program. That's completely up to you. But even to just go through that as a free content resource, people have got a lot out of it. So yeah, there's that option for you. We'll post that link below. Let's just check in with the comments and see what's going on. Tell us a joke. No, I don't really do jokes either.
No.
Richard, male grooming. Now that I could probably help out with. Not on you, just to clarify, but yeah, maybe I could do that. So are you ready with the setup, mate?
No, if you're doing jokes, then I'd rather hear a joke.
No. Are you good at jokes?
No.
Nah, I more prefer.
I like jokes. I like laughing at jokes.
Yeah,
Impractical
prefer
jokers.
observational. Are you watching Practical Jokers as well?
Oh, mate, I love them. I've watched them all.
Same.
I love them. It's hilarious, right? Who's your favourite, Sal?
Sal's your favourite?
I think so.
Do you know what? I haven't watched it for a while. I might have to watch some highlights. Who's the No, I love Joe's my favourite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sal's like a little whiner. He's always moaning. Sal's always whinging.
He's willing to do anything, that guy.
He reminds me of you. He's always whinging. Never enough for Sal. It's never enough.
No, that's true. That he's determined. He wants the best. Right, Swiss yen, guys. Let's have a look. So, let's be serious for a moment. If we're gonna put people's money at risk. So, Swiss yen, fantastic. Looks like a nice one. So you can kind of see here, having put our weekly levels in, we have resistance, 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 and we are basically at resistance, knocking on the door. So I guess immediately then we should be looking for a pullback. I mean, it's literally right there. So at this stage, the facts are that we haven't been above this level since 2016. And currencies like to stay in ranges. So the highest probability, unless something has changed fundamentally, is that this market will repeat and will probably hit this and then hit this at some point. So with that in mind, let's go and have a look at the daily chart. Swiss yen. I don't know why the Swiss yen is at the bottom. It doesn't even make any sense. What? I mean, what the hell? Okay, daily. Ignore that. So let's have a look at the daily. And what I'm going to do is, we already know that we're looking for a short here. I'm just going to check out and see where the fibs are, just to see where if we've got a D. So what I'm looking for is, have we got a D close by? So so is the cycle potentially, is there going to be some confluence here? I'll try the auto fibs. Absolutely awesome. Beautiful. So the auto fibs are basically absolutely perfect for us, because if you have a look, how this works is you have your A, your B, the C, and what you want to do is on the C, you want to see where the market has pulled back. In this case, it's pulled back to the orange line. And so this sequence predicts that the market is going to stall at the orange line, and look exactly where it stopped, on the orange line. And right now it's kind of coming back up and testing it, but this is this is basically a short. So it's just a question of let's put the candles in, of identifying where we could potentially short this. Now we could get a little push back up. We could like push a bit higher. So I'm just going to check one little thing here, guys. I'm going to take the fibs off. So everybody's seen that this is perfectly predicted, the high here, right? I think everybody can see that. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of the auto fibs. I'm just going to see if there's anything at all, any value in potentially, I'm just going to see if the manual fibs, what they're doing for us, if there's any D close by. Oh yes, this is exactly what I thought. We might get a little spike and then down. This is great, guys. This is exciting. So this is, so you know, like how the market likes to kind of like fake break or push out and then go down. Well, we've got our level right now. This here, if we can get up here tomorrow, this level, guys, here, I would actually mark this down as a zone because you've got the old 200 there. So between 119.18 and 119.47, that's going to be a really key area where we might get that final push and then rejection for next week. Markets like in FX, they like to take out highs and then reject. Have a look over here. Yeah, look, take out the high and then push down. Can you see that, guys? It happens a lot in FX. Look, take out that high and then push down. And so we could do exactly the same thing here. Take out that high and then push down. So 119.18 to 119.47 is a short zone. We can do a little bit more work. We can just go quickly check out the 4-hour time frame. Incidentally, let's have a look at the weekly and see where that actually is. I mean, that 119.80, yeah, so that could be just a spike. So there's two ways you can do this. So if you're, for those that have done the crypto course, I mean, we covered dollar cost averaging, but if you wanted to run a position on this, I would literally be telling you, if you just wanted to just catch that move back down, you could average in. You could actually just, you could short some here if you wanted to. There's nothing wrong with this price. And then if it gets up here, short some more, and then here, short some more. And you could do it, split your position up if you want. Because the thing is that I think it can go up there, but it may not. And obviously you may then miss the move. So if you want to be kind of a bit more sure, then you can start positioning yourself in. But this here would be an absolute great zone. And if you can add the DTR as a confluence, whenever you take the trade, this is going to be a no-brainer short. Ideally, if I'm being honest, ideally, this is better if it comes next week than tomorrow. Ideally, but if it gets there tomorrow, you can still take it, even though you'd have to hold it over the weekend. And also, you've got to bear in mind, we don't really want the weekly chart to close up here, right? Because 119.18 is there, and it's nearly the end of the week. So you almost kind of want this to hold here, and then next week you spike up to there, and you short it, and then we can ride this step back down. I'm just going to do one more thing, Gav. I'll have a quick little look at the lower time frame just to kind of have that completion, just to see if I see anything else that might be important. I don't even know what I'm doing. Hold on. Doesn't matter, actually. Let me just put this. So 4-hour chart. Yeah, you kind of got this little, they call it a microphone, these, and it's there. Yeah, I mean, this kind of emphasizes what I was saying, which is like you can look for an initial short if you wanted to, in case it doesn't go up there. But yeah, that's kind of like the main setup. I'm just going to sit. I'll add the up fibs just to see if there's anything here interesting. pull back to the 38. Yeah, you'd be looking at that. That's 118.69. Yeah. Yeah, that I wouldn't worry about that too much. We've hit a D point. We've pulled back. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's kind of it, guys. There's nothing else that I want to share there. So there's two options. You get the best possible price up here, ideally next week, between 119.18 and 119.47. Absolute no-brainer short there. The other option is you just start to sell it here, from here. This exactly where it is now. You take your first short right now. If it drops, great. You can then, if it's not going back, you can start to do sort of pullbacks and short. If you short the first one and it goes a little bit higher, short again, and then you've got a really nice position for the short side. And that completes the trade setup of the week. What do you think, Mr. Gav?
I like it. I like it.
I like it. If I like it, it means it's good. Because I'm quite fussy. You told me already.
Very fussy.
I am. I would say
so good. That was a good shout. So I've posted the link in. Just FYI, it's just the video at the top. You don't have to worry about scrolling down or anything. It's just the video at the top. Press play, boom, you're in, and then you'll learn how to walk the path to get to that level. And it's not going to happen overnight, but that's why we do these breakdowns, to show you that it's possible. It's not a fluke. This guy does this on the regular, as you know. If you're just tuning in thinking, oh well, it's easy for him, he does it all the time. And he shows us how to do it, which is amazing. So people are saying legendary as usual. Brilliant stuff as always. And then there's always some joker in the pack.
Just keep going. Shall we make this a 5-hour session?
I thought it said, let's not allow Gaven to rest. I take that back. Thank you.
I thought let's not allow as well. I read that as well. Let's not allow Gavin to rest.
Tony, he's the master. I think we'll end there with that. Now, one area that he's definitely not a master in. Are you going to get a little out song for us on the way out to play out?
What do you want, the same version or a different one?
I'm intrigued as to what's going to happen next. I have no idea here. So look, guys, hopefully you're going to take action on that trade. And yeah, you've got a fun weekend planned. Our next show will be the Cryptos Like a Pro. So that'll be next Tuesday at midday. So Tuesday at midday. But obviously you can watch it on demand. We'll tag it in the announcement section, and then you can watch it whenever you want if you can't make it live.
Did you just tell people that we're going to change the time?
For the Crypto Like a Pro, and then we are going to change the time for this show as well. So we'll let you know. We may even change the day. We're not sure yet. So we've just got to have a little think about scheduling with more and more commitments that we're going to be doing to get the London Trading Institute out there to the big wide world. So yeah, we'll keep you posted on that. Anything else you want to say, Nick?
No.
Oh, I hear it. That's my cue. That is my cue, baby.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. As always, this show would not be the same without you guys. Good night. Arrivederci.
Ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao e seppellire la sua montagna sotto l'ombra di un bel fiore.
Al Pacino enjoyed the show.
Thanks, Al.
You did all right with the music coming out, Boo Boo. That was a good job, mate.
Thank you, mate. I'm improving.
Let's not go too
people,
far.
I think people preferred the other version, the remix. Well, I blended it all up. Good night, everybody.